Greetings. Welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Jordan Edwards. Jordan is the host of Clocked In podcast and the founder of Edwards Financial Consulting. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Jordan Edwards. Jordan, welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get started with your podcast, Clocked In?
That's a great question. So, when I started my podcast, it was actually back in February, and me and a buddy, we were at a air show, like basically a plane show in Naples, Florida, and I started talking to these different people. And inside of the Naples airport, there's actually a Vietnam War museum. And one of the guys, he ended up being the person who the museum was about. It was Wayne Ogden Smith. He was working the museum that day, and he had a whole exhibit about him being a prisoner of war. And then he became CEO of this electric company and ended up selling it to Warren Buffett. And I was like, Wayne, your story is so incredible. Let me do a podcast. And at that point, I literally took out my phone and just started clicking record on the StoryCorp app. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm like, we have to get started. So we did that for 5 minutes. And then Wayne's like, come next weekend. So I go next weekend, I do the recording, and I had that one for a while. And I came to the conclusion when COVID hit that I was like, I need to get started on this podcast because I got to get connected with new people. I got to continue this networking. And that's when I started the podcast, because it allowed me to reach out to different individuals and go, hey, I'd love to talk to you about your life. And I'm like, fantastic. Yeah. So from this point, I've released 30 episodes. I have another 15, 20 in the archives. We've had people like the founder of Reebok on, Joe Foster, have successful entrepreneurs like Brad Lee, David Meltzer, NFL MVP, Ron Jaworski. So it's been an awesome ride, and I've enjoyed every step of the way.
Yeah, so here's a good part. You name drop few, and we have a few common guests. So that's a good small world.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
who's
great.
on your show?
I think David
Meltzer is a good guy.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah, especially in sports, he talks, very good.
He's very well versed.
Yeah, very well versed. Yeah. So great, Jordan. So based on your experience in a podcast and also in a financial consulting company, so what are the top 3 missteps to avoid, what not to do, so that we can learn from your experience?
Yeah, exactly. So in regards to financial consulting, the main thing, this is super simple level stuff. One of the main ones is when you get a credit card, you have to be careful. A credit card is supposed to protect your debit and savings card. So with what's going on right now is a lot of people's identities are getting stolen. And when you use a credit card, people are fearful because they tend to overspend. So you have to know your limits. So say you spend $1,500 a month, that's your limit. When you get to the credit card and you start swiping everywhere and they're giving you approvals and everything's fine, but you have to make sure that you are paying that off each month. Yeah. Because I find that people don't realize that the interest rates are at astronomical. They're 18 to 25%. Yeah. And it can be crippling debt, which down the line wouldn't allow you to get a car, won't allow you to get a house. And credit is one of the major things that we need. But a credit card also has some good things. There's some benefits. You can use it as your assistant because it will know how much you spend each month, and they categorize that spend as well. Another big second advice is when you have student loans. A lot of us tend to take on student loans because we're told, hey, we need to go to school, go to college, get that degree, and then we'll be successful, quote unquote. And the major thing is that when people get out with student loans, what they don't realize is that the company doesn't want you to pay it off because they want to keep accruing interest from you. So in regard to my loans, I had 4 loans. Those 4 loans, 3 of them were covered in my, they were covered in my minimum payment. So the minimum payment was like $100. And if you look, you can throw it into an amortization table pretty quickly, or I could help you if you guys want. And those 3 original loans were covered in the minimum payment. The problem is the 4th loan, which has the largest interest and principal, which means it had the largest base amount and it was growing the most, was not covered in the minimum payments. And if you don't throw it into an amortization table, you'll never know that. And a lot of people, when it comes to financial literacy, they don't want to know that because they want to sit there and say, hey, I'm good. I'm comfortable. I can afford my house. I can afford everything. No one's taking anything from me. Let me keep my student loans separate so I don't have to deal with that. Now, that's something you should not do. You have to confront these issues, find an expert, have someone help you, have someone in the field to just get an understanding of what your debt looks like. And then the last thing I would say is that I'm seeing a lot of people go out and get these cars and these houses that are just outside of their price range. But the banks will approve them because they want to have debt with you. They want you to keep owing and keep paying. So instead of looking at what the payment looks like, look at what the ownership looks like. And when you go out there, just because you can afford a $700 car a month, $700 car payment a month with your job that you have now, what if you lose that job? With COVID, we saw that anything can happen. So you really want to keep your liabilities low and your assets high. So definitely live below your means, because there's many people out there trying to impress and do things that are bigger than themselves and try to live this luxurious life when they just can't afford it. And it's definitely not a place to be.
Especially when someone is showing off, that really is something which they have, which they can't afford it. Really, that's why they're showing off anyway. So
exactly, it's a major insecurity. It's really not good to have, and it's something that you have to get comfortable with yourself, knowing that, hey, I'm proud to be living below my means. That's something that should be preached. It shouldn't be preached, oh, they got a new car, they got a new house.
That's why
society pushes us.
So this is time to look for inward and at least have the realistic conversation with yourself. Hey, where you want to be, have a
exactly. And it's not even about where you want to be tomorrow. It's where you want to be in 30 years, 50 years.
Like, people don't know. Hey, you're watching this, you can pay off your 30 years mortgage in 7, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, you're gonna pay double.
You're
gonna pay double if you pay the minimum.
But
they don't tell you that. That's the issue.
Definitely. It's a great wisdom to share. So what are your top 3 success secrets?
So the 3 things that I like to focus on, the first one, it may sound super simple, but it's being grateful. You have to be grateful for where you're at, and you have to have gratitude for that you're still living today, because there's many people losing their lives each day, which makes it very difficult, because sometimes we have problems and sometimes we have difficulties in our life, but what we need to realize, we have the gift of life. And I was told by Bradley when he came on my show, he said, do you want $1 million? I go, sure. Are you willing to have $1 million if you can't wake up tomorrow? No. So each morning is $1 million morning. So you got to be grateful for every morning you have. And that's very important to realize, because once you're in a gratitude space, you're in a space of abundance. So then my next thing I would say to people, a tip I would have in regard to, this is more mindset than financial. Another tip I would have is your morning routine. What does that look like to you? To me, mine was, you got to exercise at least 45 minutes. You got to read, bring knowledge into your brain, whether it's a personal development book, new success secrets, whatever it is, you got to be reading a productive book so that you're learning from those who have done it before. Third is, I like to prime each morning. which is basically a gratitude activity. And then for me, I do this thing where I wrap my tefillin, and it just gets me in touch with God. But anyway, we all have to focus on what our morning routine is, because once you have the morning down, then you can win the day. And so we have gratitude, morning routine, and then the last success tip I would give, and this is a really important one, and a lot of people overlook it, is because we get run down with our jobs and with what we're doing and where we are, is, and I mentioned in my morning routine, is the exercise. Exercise is such a simple outlet because we only have one body. That's all we're going to get. So it's best that we treat that correctly, because as people age, they forget to care about their body because they're too worried about making money for their family. They're too worried about themselves. Worry about yourself. You got to get selfish here. And it's definitely key to get selfish in regard to your fitness, because without your body, there's nothing to give. You can't help people if you don't have the proper energy levels. When you work out, you get endorphins, and you need those energy levels. So it's super important to be grateful, have a morning routine that works for you and that's a winning routine for you, and also to exercise. So those are the three that I would give everyone. We've had people who've come to me who are on the brink of not accepting life anymore. They don't want to be here anymore. What happened? A mindset shift. They started waking up earlier. They started working out. They started feeling confident in their body, confident in who they are. And that's what it's all about.
It's simple as just go out for a walk for an hour, 2 hour, so like just get out, break the cycle of whole thing is a blue screen thing, so
exactly. And even with that going on, it doesn't even have to be an hour, 2 hours, 3 15-minute walks a day. That's my routine down to a T, because it lets you decompress. We're all at home and we're all stressed. So if we go outside and air out and leave the phone, hopefully, then we can go out and be able to be in nature, really enjoy, oh, that tree looks nice today. That the snow on the ground. I appreciate the snow on the ground because it gives you feeling, and it's something that we all need.
No, this is amazing. In fact, I go for like an hour to 2 hour walk 5 days a week, and I have a walking buddy, Muhammad Malak. He may be watching this, I don't know. So he started walk a little bit late. I mean, around after 70. So he mentioned me many times. His age is my age with 22 years, almost a difference. So he says, oh, I wish I had started taking care of my body 20 years ago, then I would not have been in this situation. He's healthy, but I'm just saying we all have a regret. Why I wish I started that 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the biggest things about financial literacy, investing. Everyone wishes they started earlier. Whether it's your health, they wish they invested earlier. So find out what activities you're doing each day to invest in yourself. Whether that's going on a 2 hour walk. You walked 50 miles this month, didn't you? Or last month?
77 miles. In fact, one month I walked 150 miles too. Not this month, but one of the previous months, good months, So
but it doesn't even matter. It's just good to know that you're progressing and going forward.
But I love it. We have common, so that when I was looking at your LinkedIn post,
Well, that was funny because in January, I actually, with December and the holidays and everything, everyone gets a little crazy. And so I decided in January that I'm going to work out 45 minutes each day. So what I did was, where I'm at in Charleston right now, I would run 4.5 miles, not killing myself, 10-minute pace, 4.5 miles every single day. And what that came to was about 97 miles.
No, this is good. Of course, when you were coming, I was thinking we have two things at least common: walking, running. I don't run because I don't want to break up myself. I get out, just casual walk, not even a brisk walk. So I'm not that young anymore. So that's
but getting outside is so important. And what was the other thing we had in common? We got the walking
and we both are podcast hosts, so we both are
podcasting hosts. It's incredible because a lot of people don't realize the benefit of the podcast
Yeah.
it's a massive value to the audience.
Yeah.
But at that same point, being a host, you got to experience all these different people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're going to school every single day.
Every single day and every single session, whenever you do, some people do multiple in a day, and you keep learning from what's working, what's their mistake, so I don't have to repeat the same mistake again. So as we move along, Jordan, what's the single most professional failure you had in your in the financial consulting company, and what did you learn from that, and how did you recover from it?
Yeah, so for me, the biggest failure for me, I would say the biggest failure was probably not thinking big enough.
Oh, okay.
I
That's a
was
good one.
trying to help all of these people
Mhm.
who were reaching out to me, and a lot of them were recent graduates with student loan debt,
Mhm.
and I was doing a one-by-one basis.
Mhm.
So what I've transitioned to now is group dynamic, because you
Mhm.
can help a lot more people, and if someone wants your specific one-on-one time, go for it. And
Yeah.
obviously you need those one-on-one meetings to build that rapport,
Yeah.
but once you have the group dynamic, they
Mhm.
are helping each other. So that was one of the things that definitely slowed me down in my growth.
Mm.
Because once you're thinking bigger, you can help more people. You're doing the lives, you're going on different podcasts, you're helping other people. You start to get this broadened perspective, and at the same time, you can develop a group. And a lot of people want to be there because they want to meet new people.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Jordan, we are about to wrap up, and I like to ask more about your podcast, so that way talk about your podcast, how people can outreach to you.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate that. Yeah. So for me, it's hashtag clocked in with Jordan Edwards. And you can find that podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, basically anywhere you look. We're having awesome guest drop each week, and it's just a good knowledge base. And then if anyone wants to do a one-on-one introductory session, totally complimentary, because obviously you guys came from the best, and you could just find that on Edwards Financial Consulting and just set up a session. And yeah, we'll just talk for 30 minutes, see if we're aligned, and see where that goes next. I'd love to have anyone.
Yeah, wonderful. This is great. edwardsfinancialconsulting.com. Check it out for your own benefit. Don't go for Jordan's benefit. Go for your own benefit. You are going to save so much money. And from the banks never want to tell you anything about how you can pay them off earlier using the same money, but you're already paying it them anyway, just structuring it a little bit differently. So,
Exactly. And there's also, we have a pretty cool blog that goes out twice a week on kind of wellness, everything in there. So you guys can totally check out the blog. There's a lot of complimentary materials in there, some good reading.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Love to see you
Great.
there.
Great. So you are my guest. You are our guest. I should not say my guest, because audience also included. So people are watching this. So how is your experience on being a growth hacking show? I like to have your quick review and testimonial on this one. What would you say to your best friend about a growth hacking secret show experience?
Oh,
When
it's been
I'm not,
fantastic.
I'm not there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. I enjoy the questions. I enjoy the dynamic. I enjoy how you allow us to speak and really share what our knowledge is and what our specialties is. And I would definitely recommend anyone to come on here. And it's been an awesome experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate it very much. What would you say as a final word?
Focus on the long term, not the short term. So make sure when you're making decisions, look 50 years out instead of 5 days out.
Yeah, that's good. Focus on long term, not on short term. With that, thank you so much, Jordan Edwards, for showing up and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us on the Growth Hacking Secrets show. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Thank you.